All right, everybody, we are back. It's another episode of the Sports Clash, and it's NFL Week One. Just an absolutely beautiful Sunday. Chris, how you doing, bud?
And yeah, a wonderful Sunday. Saw some red zone in the background while chasing around the children, and ended up having a pretty good day too. So um, really excited to have football season going.
3-0, Chris Carey to start the season. I
Wow.
know, man. You might know what you're talking about. I hate to admit it, but you're pretty good.
No, I am the brilliant idiot that you have called me, and I will wear that moniker. I kind of love it actually.
I've deemed you the brilliant idiot, and yeah, it does kind of fit really well. It really
In
almost
more facets than this too.
yes, in many ways. But I mean, just it was just so nice to. I woke up, I was up at 6:30 in the morning with the kids. Um, long morning. But I was just looking at picks. We were talking about our picks all throughout the weekend. I mean, we're on SoBet. Find us on SoBet. I mean, we're on fire right now. We're crushing it early on. We went 6-2. We went 4-0 on Thursday night, 2-2 Friday on the Friday night Brazil game, which I mean, those weird Brazil international games, I'm not a fan.
I
Um,
don't even know if it happened if it didn't happen in America.
no, no. We could touch on those a little bit, but RIP Jordan Love. That field, you knew that field was going to take somebody, and the fact that it took the Packers star quarterback, not ideal. But
Yeah.
6-2 for us in those games. And then we had our picks, which we did this all last year. Sunday, we share our picks. We each pick three games. Sometimes we're going to have the same picks. Sometimes we're going to pick the same game, but completely clash. And that's what happened this week, which I regret, but that's okay.
The
Um,
namesake, though.
yeah, it worked nice. But yeah, so all of our picks up on SoBet, and for our official SoBet picks, we went 3-1, up 1.86 units, I believe. We have one play for Sunday Night Football that we're watching right now, as we speak, and we're rooting for a Cooper Cup anytime touchdown and plus 140. So the Rams are driving right now. I think this will be a good game. I mean, the over-under was set at what, 40, 54 and a half. So they're expecting points. I kind of like the under, to be honest. That's just so high. But two great offenses. We'll see how it plays out as we go through. But I think we want to talk about our picks. Should we start with the game that we both picked and dive
Yeah.
into Atlanta and Pittsburgh? Week one, the Steelers get a win. Once again, they just keep winning games. I don't know how. They're not very good, but
Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin, he is just unbelievably just good. The Steelers 18, Falcons 10. The spread here was Falcons minus 3.5. That's what I took, and I'm regretting it because that didn't work. I mean, it look when you picked game, you mentioned really you were just like JJ Watt's really good, and you know what? JJ Watt's
DJ.
really really good. TJ Watt's really good. I mean, that's it. He's unbelievable. He just makes plays. So he had a strip sack that was overturned, but then Falcons had kind of a mistimed snap that he was right on top of. He's just constantly putting pressure on Kirk Cousins. Cousins working on timing with new receivers. That offensive line, I mean, they don't have anybody that can stop Watt. For me, the thing that stood out in this game was that the Steelers won the game with six field goals, and that was the Arthur Smith offense right there. That was the Arthur Smith revenge game, and it
I
pisses me
didn't
off
even
so
think of that.
much. It pissed me off so much that he won, that he got that win, but they didn't score a touchdown. They looked honestly, the offense looked about as good as I think it could get because yeah, I mean you had Fields there starting. Once Russell Wilson comes in, I think it's only going to get worse. Falcons are not known for their defense, and they couldn't get their offense going. First game with Cousins, you had a Pitts touchdown, but that was really it. I wanted to see more from Bijan. It didn't happen. You got the win, and I got the L. So, congrats on that one.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, I didn't know we were going to be competing on that one. I had originally thrown the Eagles in there, but it was yeah, TJ Watt. And if it's not TJ Watt, it's Minka Fitzpatrick on the defense, and everything else just falls into place for them. Um, and then it's Mike Tomlin, and that's about it. And Arthur Smith can't be a CEO, but he could be a pretty damn good VP, right? So he ended up running an offense that scored a lot of field goals, but it is what it is. Kirk Cousins will do Kirk Cousins things too. And that's what he did. I bet you next week he's phenomenal. That's just what he does. So, like you said, working on timing with people, and that's why I think he ended up with the tight end with the touchdown there. But Bijan, there's more to come from him for sure. It's just TJ Watt was a disruptor, and for a guy coming off of an Achilles, he was a little bit nervous in the pocket probably, especially after some of those the strip sack and everything where I got really frustrated. I was like, oh no, now it's gonna be 4.5. Oh, I was texting you, but I think it was just the defense that carried it and the lack of Russell Wilson that made the field goal game possible too. So, we'll see. I don't think I'm in on the Steelers all season, but I think they have enough talent at certain positions to win games like this, and they did today. I didn't expect them to win. I just expected it to be within a field goal. And guess what? The field goal kicker was the all-star. So
Yeah.
they won, and I was surprised. I'll be honest.
Yeah. A lot of Steelers fans in Atlanta, which I mean they travel well, they always do. But yeah,
Steelers fans everywhere.
Mike Tomlin and the Steelers are on their way to another 9-8 season. That's what it feels like. They do it with defense, and they don't make the dumb mistakes, and that's that. It's Mike Tomlin's football. If they had some more talent on the offense, maybe.
I'd say this team is the same team as last year, just sub out Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett and put in two guys that actually have like flashes of actual talent. And yeah, I don't know. I don't like either of them to be great season long. Fields deep ball. Oh my gosh, though. The one that he hit on the sideline. This is all the guy can do is
He
deep ball accuracy.
Yeah.
You bring it shorter, and it's like ugh,
Yeah.
he doesn't know
Well,
what to do.
accuracy and extends plays with his feet, and that's it.
Yeah. And he was among the leading rushers too, I think.
Yeah.
Is that wrong? Could be
I
wrong.
For me, but I know Bijan really didn't do much. I didn't see much from Algier.
Well, I'm highly invested in Bijan in fantasy, and my fantasy team didn't do too much, so I believe it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
But I think you saw more use out of Bijan at the very least, and less out of Algier. So
yeah, which is nice. We don't need any more of that from Arthur Smith. And I like you said, I don't like either of these teams. Najee had 70 yards on 20 carries, not bad. Bijan had 68 yards on 18 carries. So they were kind of just were trotting along. Neither of them scored a touchdown. And that was it. Though it was only one touchdown in the game, and it was the Pitts touchdown from Cousins. Cousins didn't look great, but again, that's new team, new offense. They'll be okay, but their schedule's tough to start. So I think they have the Eagles and then the Chiefs. So it's gonna be a rough start in Atlanta there. But yeah, I think both of these teams are just gonna hover around 500. Maybe one of them can make the playoffs, but we'll see. So
yeah, I think it was too much money for Kirk. I love Kirk, but there's a reason he was franchised over and over. And without Justin Jefferson, he's just going to be Kirk Cousins, and he's just a year older, and just gonna do. He just does the same exact things.
yeah,
It's very frustrating.
that's him.
That's it. Yep.
On to the next. Bills 34, Cardinals 28. This was a game that you took Cardinals plus 6.5. I wanted to take Cardinals plus 6.5. I put a whole write up on there, and then I decided to pivot. I did bet on it and won, so I was happy there because they did cover. They lost by 6. It was almost perfect on the cover. But the Bills defense, this game kind of played out how I expected. The Cardinals have a good, fun offense with a lot of talent, and they didn't even really utilize their talent well, I think, in this first game, aside from Kyler, who
Right.
was great. And the Bills are Josh Allen is absolutely unbelievable. Give him all his flowers. He had 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns. He extends plays. He's just there's not a lot of guys like him. So props there. They won this game because they have Josh Allen, really. The defense is like I said, vulnerable, and I think the Cardinals are going to have a good, fun offense this year. So this was a tight game. So,
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think we agreed on this pick. I just ended up taking it before you, I think. But yeah, no, I think we're correct, exactly correct with this one to be within a half yard. Josh Allen, I mean, to get rid of the Stephon Diggs headache, you're going to see Josh Allen be Josh Allen. And I think he's just going to be a villain all year. I think he's going to play spoiler. He's going to be a comeback artist, and it's going to be very annoying for some games if you try to jump in live on him because I think he's that good, and he's one of those guys that just does it all by himself. And no offense to anybody else on the team that doesn't get talked about, they want to win too, but they took away the biggest headache that Josh Allen had with I have to get it to Diggs. Now he doesn't have to. He can use his legs. He can run. Like there's nobody that he needs to keep happy in the locker room because everybody in that locker room now is just going to be happy to win. But with Arizona, I mean, Kyler, as long as he can stay healthy, he's going to have a lot of yards. I mean, he's got all the tools to do it. He's got the wheels to do it. James Conner scored, and Trey Benson is there as well as another back. They're gonna be decent. I love their secondary, Buda Baker and Sean Murphy Bunting. Absolutely love their secondary, and I think that's why Josh Allen wasn't going to beat them with his arm. He definitely beat them more with his legs today, and just his passion and leadership. And at home in Buffalo, man, I mean, they just will that guy to victory, which is awesome to see. But I thought Arizona at some points during this game was going to win it, and all of a sudden, the fast lane, the Bills get in the fast lane, and they just decide to take over. Thankfully, Arizona hung around long enough, but we'll see. I don't know what their schedule looks like going forward, but Arizona could be fun, and they could go either way all season. So more to come on that, but got lucky by a half point.
I think they'll be in a lot of fun games because I don't think their defense is very good, but their offense is a lot of fun. So, and when they start to actually get Marvin Harrison Jr. involved, then they'll really get going. I mean, he had 3 targets. Michael Wilson had 2 targets, and then it was Greg Dortch. Murray was going to Dortch, eight targets for Dortch, 9 targets for McBride. McBride, not a surprise, good tight end
Yeah.
who Tyler liked at the end of the year when he came back. But you want to see a little more from Harrison. Yeah, James Conner is just a solid, great running back. They have these.
Mhm.
They're going to be a good defense, a good offense, but they're not going to be a great defense. And that was just a bad matchup in Buffalo against Josh Allen and the Bills.
Yeah, home game for Arizona. I think it might be a different story,
Could be.
but we'll see. Kyler clearly loves that mid-level passing game with the tight ends, and if he can get the deep ball going with a couple of those guys, like you mentioned, that would be pretty scary.
Yeah. All right, keep it going. This was your third win on our picks. Bears 24, Titans 17. I know we were talking last night. You went with the Bears. You didn't love it, but they covered. They covered four? Was it 4.5?
4.5.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of points. I get why you didn't love it. The Titans aren't going to be anything special this year after getting rid of Rabel, but Will Levis we both like. He was
dude.
he was a little disappointing in the game, though, I would say.
I don't know. That's a dude. I just watching
Said this
some of
last
the plays.
he earned
He's
the
a dude.
I think so. Look, the Bears defense is very good. And now I think Caleb Williams didn't look great. He took some big sacks, had some bad throws, but it was the defense. I mean, I think it was a block punt touchdown or a block field. Like they had a block for a touchdown, and then they had a pick six. So
43-yard interception return for a touchdown, I think it was. Is
yeah,
that
so
right?
it was the defense putting up points today. Uh,
Right.
they're not going to win a ton of games like that, but the defense will keep them in the game if Caleb Williams can just get into a little bit of a rhythm. And I think he'll figure it out. DJ Moore, he was targeting him. He had 8 targets. They connected only 5 times. They didn't really get Roma Dunze going. I don't know what happened with Keenan Allen. I think he left at one point. Look at these pop-ups. The Keenan Allen left at one point. I don't know. I didn't see the injury report there, but there's more there in that offense that they can go. And if the defense is going to be that good and special teams, like they're going to be
Right.
putting points on the board, they'll be a good fun team, maybe a sneaky playoff team.
Yeah, I hated the 4.5, and I think I was right to hate the 4.5. I hate all 4.5 spreads. I think they're just traps. You think one team is phenomenal, and then all of a sudden you end up with a field goal game, or even, competing touchdowns, and you end with that 4-point spread. I absolutely did not like this call, like right up until the whistle. And now seeing Caleb Williams in action, I'm a little bit off the gas on the Bears. They won despite their offense. If their offense picks it up, they could be scary, but Caleb Williams looks, and I look at game speed sometimes when it comes to a rookie quarterback moving into the NFL. And on rollout passes, he didn't look faster than everybody like he used to. His throw on the run ability is incredible. His deep ball ability is incredible. But he doesn't look faster than many of the defenders in the NFL. And we'll see. But I thought his legs were going to show a little bit more in his debut, and they didn't. And it could be different, but when plays break down in the Pac-12, it's different than when plays break down in the what is it, the NFC Central, the AFC Central, whatever it is. He rolled out, and I was like, oh God, that linebacker's right on him. So there's one fantasy team I'm looking to punt on Caleb Williams already, but Roma Dunze had a catch and then he like fumbled at the same time.
Yeah.
So I think after that they were like, we're going to play it a little bit safe, but it was the defense that surprised, and that this game wasn't going to win unless it was, that pick six. Like, so it ended up covering. I'm happy about it, but I think there's a little bit of pause on the Bears for me. We'll see, but they've got all the talent in the world. They're just young, and if they can overcome that, it'd be great. But it was a good pick. It was a good pick in the moment, I
It
guess.
wasn't something I was even thinking about taking, so props to you on that. It was, look, I mean, and they have a window here with the Packers losing with Jordan Love. He's
Yeah,
out for at least 4 weeks, probably more.
I think it said 3 to 6, something like that.
It'll be probably six. I wouldn't be. I
Yeah,
would,
it's gonna. I mean, it was an MCL, I think.
yeah, yeah. MCL sprain, they said. So not disastrous, but tough, tough. So they're watching this game right now, close. The Lions lose, they could be tied with the Vikings, for first place in the North there. So solid start. Solid start.
Yeah, that'll be a fun division.
Yes, definitely. All right. Keeping it going to my pick. I had Miami -3.5 on the picks. They don't cover it. I got a push on some because I spread out some threes, -3s, in my bets. So I did at least push on a lot of my Miami bets, but they don't cover the 3.5 because of a Jason Sanders missed field goal. To be honest, it was 17-17 in the fourth. Sanders before that missed a pretty easy kick. I think it was like 30 something yarder. If he hits that, I guess you could say maybe they still don't cover because maybe they don't kick it at the end there. But
Right.
either way, frustrating there. Because that could have changed, maybe Jacksonville's a little more aggressive. Miami defense gets something, changes the game. And you had the drama with Tyreek Hill before the game this morning. He's there's video on the online, some kind of traffic violation, and he's detained by police. Was on the ground with like four officers. I don't know, these Florida cops. I don't know.
Would you want to be a cop in Florida? I will say that.
No, I would
Yeah.
not. So
Hell no. That's
no,
why they film it there.
no, that's how far that's as far as I'll go with that. But hey, we don't there's details that'll come out. We don't know what happened. But seems like it was a overreaction there. I don't know. Either way, he
There was
obviously,
no Scotty Scheffler arrest.
well, that was it. Wasn't that in Florida too? I think that was in
No, maybe couldn't tell you. No, Louisville, I think. Louisville.
down south. down down south, there's some issues.
He just walked back out of jail and won a golf tournament. But anywho, at least Tyreek played today.
Tyreek walked. He didn't even get to jail. Like he walked into stadium and had a huge touchdown. Because for a while, Jacksonville was leading this game, and Miami was shut out for like most of the first half. But they got the big Tyreek touchdown. They come back, they win 2017. They don't cover the 3.5. They push on the 3. So a little frustrating, but what do you think of Miami's start there? And Jacksonville, I know is a team that you do like. I just they do nothing for me.
Yeah, no, the way that they started was phenomenal. And I was like, oh yeah, this pick looks great, Chris. You're gonna season long, it's gonna be excellent. Look at Trevor Lawrence. Woo. But yeah, no, Miami, once they start, clicking, it's a whole different story. Mike McDaniel just understands how to get players in space, and players with speed and space are scary. And Jalen Waddle had a big game too. And Tua didn't look like he was rattled at all. So yeah, I mean, I like Jacksonville, but like you said, they just don't really scare you all that much. And Miami stayed put. They did their own thing. Devon A-Chain looks incredible, and they're going to be a good team until it gets cold.
Yeah, that's the thing with them. That's part of the reason. I mean, I took them in my Survivor league, and thankfully they came with the
Nice.
win. So that was a lot of relief because I had them -3 in a lot of spots, and I had them in Survivor. So them winning this, as it pissed me off that they didn't cover the 3.5, but I was a little relieved in that spot. Um, the Jaguars, 12 carries for Bigsby and 12 carries for ETN. Is this a split? Travis Etienne is supposed to be a stud. He got in the end zone early on, and now Bigsby looked good, 73 yards on 12 carries. He was a guy who made a lot of mistakes early on last year and was kind of flushed out of the offense. I don't know what they're doing, but I see Tank Bigsby at the top of the rushing leaders for the Jags, and I see Gabe Davis at the top of the receiving leaders in the Jags, and I don't like the Jags. I don't like it.
Two guys that should not be at the top of the board for the Jags, in my opinion. And
Well, yeah,
I
they
think you're right with feeling that way then.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just not a fan. Dolphins, like you said, you're gonna be hot to start, and that's that.
So many 3.5 point spreads today. It was the worst.
Brutal. It was brutal. That's why I bought the points. At times, I should have just posted Dolphins -3 and pushed, but I didn't want to go too far. I was just
Right.
I would stick with the what the lines were saying, but yeah, we'll see. That
Yeah.
those are our picks. You went 3-0. I went 0-2 on Sunday. I do have the Jets +4, +4.5,
4.5.
4.5 in San Francisco. I look, if you want to talk about that for a minute, I'm
Let's
trying
do
to
it.
I'm trying to avoid it. I'm trying to like just be like, oh, the Jets play tomorrow, whatever. Okay, cool. Even though I'm literally every like 10 minutes, I'm like, I get like a boom boom in my chest, like, oh, the Jets, Aaron Rodgers. Like,
Once Rodgers gets hit the first time, both you and every Jets fan and Aaron Rodgers will exhale and they'll be like, all right, let's go.
yeah,
So I don't hate the pick. I don't hate the pick at all. They've got the most talented roster in football, you could argue, or at least in their division for sure. But top to bottom, they should be a championship team. I don't hate the pick at all. San Francisco, you just worry they're coming back with a chip on their shoulder. Kyle Shanahan, he completely he lost the Super Bowl. Like they just were ill prepared. They lost the Super Bowl. They gave it away. So it's a scary team coming into the season, but the Jets are, I mean, phenomenal talent wise. And as long as Aaron Rodgers can get up a couple times, I think you guys will be okay
yeah.
to hopefully keep it close.
I'm watching it with my father. He's coming over tomorrow. So
Fuck.
we're both just every time we get together to watch a Jets game, it never goes well. But I think that's more the fact that the Jets just usually don't win. So I'm not blaming it
We
on
gotta
you.
we gotta punt that narrative this year though.
Yeah.
We gotta stop
I would
thinking
love
about
to.
old
I just need to see it. I just need to see it. We'll see. I'll have this out early, Monday morning, Monday afternoon. So we'll preview that, but I'll post something on socials before and after the game, and we'll see. But that's that there. Let's go on the rest of the games. Aside from our picks, again, congrats 3-0. Great for us on SoBet. If you're following, we're winning. I did go 0-2. Was very close on that Miami game, and hopefully the Jets can cover. The rest of the games outside of our picks, couple of interesting notes I think we should touch on. Um, Colts Texans. Texans 29, Colts 27. That was a good game. Uh Texans were the favorites there, and they're gonna be very good.
by
But
2.5.
yeah, but Anthony Richardson, he looks good.
Hmm.
If he could stay healthy, not only does he have the legs, but he had some nice throws. He did have some overthrows, but he had a really nice throw early on in the game for a touchdown. He had a bad pick in the red zone. He's just, he's what? This is what, his third NFL game, fourth NFL game.
Right.
He's technically a rookie. He didn't really have his rookie year. So I put him in that same vein with Daniels and Williams and on the rookies. I look at him in that sense. And I think the Colts will be a fun team to watch because of him as long as he's healthy. But the Texans are legitimate. Following up on last year, I think they're a Super Bowl threat. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean they fought to stay in this game. So did the Colts. This was a really really good game. Anthony Richardson has arrived. Jonathan Taylor walked into the end zone for a touchdown. A couple of overthrows go a different way. It's a whole different story. But the game was held close, and the Texans won this one. They had that pick. Their secondary is good. They also, CJ Stroud used his legs, rolled out a couple times, threw from outside the pocket, which he didn't really have to do all that much last year. I mean, a little bit, but he has that talent to do that. I'd say they are legitimate Super Bowl contenders, but I think I picked them to be wild card in our season thing. But hey, that doesn't count them out. But Anthony Richardson, holy shirt. The freaking throw that he made down the field to Alec Pierce was incredible. It was like a 70-yard touchdown. Is that right?
I think something.
65 yards. It was insane. And he did say at the beginning of this year that playing in the NFL is easier than playing in college, which got criticized and maligned, but I think he meant it because he's playing the game that he was meant to play with the players that he was meant to play with. That's a man playing football. And I think we're going to have a fun year with Anthony Richardson. And if you have him in fantasy, hold on to him because it could be fun. Jonathan Taylor, I also think, is prime for a complete comeback season. I mean, why not? When you've got that threat with Richardson, he might steal some runs, but I mean, you'll also see some holes that Jonathan Taylor can chunk for 10, 15 yards a carry. So
Yeah.
we'll see. But Texans roll, and that
Yeah.
spread was perfect.
Yeah. Only two Colts had carries in this game. Taylor had 16 and Richardson had 6, and they both
Right.
scored a touchdown. So that was it. Pierce had a couple big catches. Pittman, they could have maybe got involved a little more. Adonai Mitchell, I think he's a rookie, right? He didn't really do too
He's
much.
the guy from Texas.
Yeah.
He's decent, but Pittman, they do want to get going for
They'll
sure.
get him going. But Houston, you'll get Houston's line. Joe Mixon, man, that's a workhorse backs line. 30 carries, 159 yards, and a touchdown. Those are the lines that you used to see from running backs, and you don't really see anymore. Uh,
Yeah,
I think you were,
that's why they got him.
were higher on him going to Houston, I think, than I was. But knowing that he's better than Damian Pierce, and he's much better than Damian Pierce. So
He's
they're
much
good.
better than Singletary too.
Stephon Diggs, 2 touchdowns. Nico Collins, 100 yards. Tank Dell, 3 catches, 40 yards. That's a lot. That's a talented offense. And they
Yep.
have a good defense, a good head coach that we both gushed over last year. Good team. I have them winning the division. You have them in the wild card. I look back at the top.
But
Um,
that's why I'd say, don't sleep on the Colts
no, no,
because they kept this one close.
I think they're going to be fun. They're going to be fun. Really do.
Yeah.
Uh, Saints 47, Panthers 10. This is the one. This is the game where we're both like kicking ourselves. Like, why didn't we just take Saints? What was the spread going in? It was only like mine at home. It was only like -4, -5. I don't know. I don't have it on the top of my head. It wasn't that big of a spread. It certainly wasn't.
This was 3.5.
Yeah. I mean, just looking back, it's so dumb. But first game of the year, I think for me and you, it was I don't want to bet on Derek Carr. I don't like betting on Derek Carr. He's not good. And I don't think he is, but the Panthers are just, you were like, okay, maybe we'll see a little more from Bryce Young. Maybe they'll get a little something going. Chuba Hubbard, maybe the defense improved. No, they're bad. Bryce Young looked really, really bad. Like zero improvement, if not maybe regressed from just being ass last year. It's bad.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
he's
bad
double ass.
year.
Yeah.
Panthers. I don't know where they go from here. I really don't.
Well, they've got Jonathan Brooks, who they drafted, who was a former Oregon Duck and Texas running back. So he's played at a high level in the college system, and he's much better than Chuba Hubbard, who I did also love in college, but not an NFL running back. Bryce Young, yeah, I mean, he's a victim of the fact that they traded all their picks away. Like this is draft capital gone. What are you gonna get? You got Xavier Legette in the second round from South Carolina, big body, but a slow body too. And you just a bunch of slow guys out there. That's what the Carolina Panthers are right now. And it's Bryce Young, who's an undersized game manager. He's basically Brock Purdy on a team of average Joes. And it's not going to work. So, yeah, kicking myself for not taking the Saints. I love the Saints. They're Ohio State South. But Derek Carr is the problem, not the solution. I wouldn't have been surprised if Taysom Hill was scoring at will in this game, to be honest. But it ended up being a decent game from Carr, and I do like the Saints. They look different, but I'm not going to count this one as one that like I'm going to carry into the next week and look at them and have the same glasses on or whatever. It's completely going to be different because clearly Carolina is a minor league football team at this point, and they really, really need to figure out how the hell you do something other than change coaches because you just don't have the personnel at all. So yeah, I don't even know what the final score was. What was it, 90-5? Like I have no idea.
47-10.
Yeah, scrubs.
It was yeah. And I had Taysom Hill scoring a touchdown. That didn't work. He'll actually only touched the ball like 6 times. I was a little disappointed there, but um, whatever.
Until they go down.
Yeah, I think that he's like their break glass in case of emergency. Taysom Hill.
Yes, exactly.
They didn't really,
Especially within 20 yards and in.
yeah. So they didn't really need him. Yeah. So yeah, that was just a blowout, and it was kind of the obvious pick, but it was like it looked like a trap. It felt like a trap, but it wasn't anywhere near a trap.
Mm-mm.
It
It was
was
just free money lying around.
free money lying around, and I didn't take it. You didn't take it. Hopefully,
Nope.
some people did. So, all right,
Yeah.
moving on. Patriots get a win. Gerard Mayo, first in his coaching debut, gets the win. Had 16, Bengals 10. Bengals got booed at home in Cincy. Look, he came into it. T. Higgins was injured. Jamar Chase had the long holdout. He clearly wasn't 100%. He had an okay game, but that wasn't good. I don't really know where to put the Bengals right now. I want to see Jamar Chase and Higgins there and them being confident. I know Burrow's got a lot more in him. Maybe we underestimate the Pats defense, but I don't really know. But Jacoby Brissett is just that guy who can keep you in a game, and if your defense is there, they'll be fine. And I was at 16-10. I mean, it's barely a game, but
That's
it's that
brutal.
fun. Uh, yeah.
Bengals are one of my like dark horses for the Super Bowl too, but
We both
clearly you got
had
to pay your
the division.
receivers. What?
We both had him winning the division.
Yeah, and I think clearly you got to pay these guys. Like Jamar's not going to try hard, and T Higgins, I think they franchised him, right? He's not super happy. But then you lose Mixon, and you don't have that threat behind the tackles or between the tackles either. You bring in Zach Moss, who's a good, decent pass catching running back, but he's not going to scare anybody. And Burrow can't catch his own balls, right? So Chase might continue to hold in and not practice and try to force them into paying him. And Higgins is probably looking at this like, bro, like they didn't pay me either. Like, so there's unhappiness in Cincinnati and it's permeating into the fans too. And good for the Patriots. A lot of people knocked out at Survivor with this pick. So
Yeah.
cool with that.
Yeah.
I had
In
the
our
Saints.
small survivor, we had three out. I'd say like a solid chunk, at least 30% of survivor leagues were knocked out of this. Most survivor leagues were knocked out because of this. And
Yeah.
I avoided it because of Chase and Higgins, and I just, you just don't know what's going to happen there. I didn't know how the Patriots would respond to our new coach. I knew Brissett would keep him in the game, and that's all he did. 15 for 24, 120 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. That's all he did. He game managed, and that's all you really look for from Brissett. Stevenson had
Hmm.
a big game. That was the difference maker. 120 yards on 25 carries and a touchdown. No Patriot had more than 3 catches. That there This was not an offensive game. This was just bad. This was not a fun game to watch, follow. It was barely on red zone for obvious reasons.
Yeah, it
Uh,
was
but
ugly.
but Joe Burrow was 21 for 29, accurate, but he's throwing to Chase, who was holding out and not really involved. No
No
Higgins,
more Tyler Boyd either, you
no
know?
more Boyd. Zach Moss is looked good, but he only had 9 carries, 44 yards and a touchdown on 9 carries. I mean, that's a solid ratio there. Maybe give the guy some more work and you got to get Higgins back and you got to get Chase fully involved. Otherwise, it's going to be could be a long season. And the Bengals defense was fine. Give up 16 points. I don't care how bad the Patriots offense is. They'll be fine, but they got to figure it out. They got to get Chase in. They got to get Higgins healthy, or else could be trouble.
I would look at their spread next week and probably hammer it. I don't know who they're playing, but it's going to be depressed because of this, and we'll see.
I'm depressed because of it. They'll be fine. All right,
Nice.
moving on. Your Commanders with the L. Buccaneers 37, Commanders 20. Bucks are who we thought they were. They just look fine. They look good. Baker can win you games. The Commanders it wasn't a terrible game. Jane Daniels looks good. What's the deal? He can't slide. What happened there? He just doesn't slide.
Dude, this is RG3 again. This guy's just gonna hurt himself. I mean, I like him. I really do, and I think that their offense could be good, but also Kingsbury, kind of flopped with Kyler too. So we'll see. I think overall the Commanders looked decent. The Bucks are scary though. Watch out for Baker Mayfield with all of his toys, and he's just gonna keep having fun. Rashad White has a spell back now, and Bucky Irving. I'm scared of the Bucks. I mean, you just plug in Baker after Tom Brady, and you got the same tools. Like he's gonna be successful. Like he's a successful guy. Like it just wherever he goes, he wins, and that's just who he is. As long as he stays healthy and has continuity with players and coaches, he'll be fine. And this is more of I think the Bucks are here for the season than the Commanders really lost this because I think they were okay. I like Brian Robinson. He's a violent runner, and I think they did okay. But Buccaneers are just incredible.
We both had them winning the South. They're plus 300. They're not favorites. The Falcons are favorites, and they lost. So see where the odds are now. But
Yeah.
The Saints also won. So we'll see. But the Panthers look just awful. Should have knocked them out. But Bucks, Saints, Falcons, the three of those teams are. I think the Buck. Yeah, I think I stand by that NFC South prediction there. I think the Bucks are looking good.
I agree.
Baker had a great game, 4 touchdowns, solid, very solid. But Jane Daniels, yeah, I mean, kind of a crazy box score, great for fantasy. 88
Yeah.
yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground.
He
That's
scored his second rushing touchdown with no helmet on. I was like, oh God, here he goes.
yeah.
Goodbye.
Just
Concussion protocol.
yeah, don't kill yourself, man, because you
Yeah.
look fun. Yeah, I think they'll figure it out. But yeah, so Bucks get the win there. Well, 2 more games, 3 more games. Um, Seahawks Broncos. Seahawks 26, Broncos 20. I don't like either of these teams. I did take the Seahawks. It was tied. It was tied at half, I think, where the Broncos were up by 1. It was even. It was even money line at halftime. So I took Seahawks money line at home. It was pretty clear that the Seahawks were the better team, and that hit. So that was a nice hit for me. I was fine with that. I don't like the Seahawks. I don't like Geno Smith. They don't do anything for me. but the Broncos are bad, and they got a rookie, Bo Nix.
I
Bo
think Bo
Nix,
Nix will have a decent career,
yeah, but
and he's just not
it's
ready yet.
gonna be a tough start. 2 picks, 138 yards. Did have a rushing touchdown, but yeah, no good. Ken Walker on the other side, great game from him. 103 yards, 20 carries, and a touchdown. Then you got Tyler Lockett. And this game, it's important to say DK Metcalf, and you knew it going in that DK finished with only 3 catches for 29 yards, but you knew he was going to be locked down by Sertan, and he was. And that's just props to Sertan. I mean, he's an unbelievable player, and he shadows. He's like Revis. Like, as much as I love Sauce Gardner and the Jets, I wish he would shadow more, but they don't do that with him. They kind of keep their corners on the same side.
Yeah.
Sertan shadows, and he was shadowing DK, and he couldn't get anything going. So I think DK will be fine moving forward. Um, the Seahawks looked fine, got the win. Gino is Gino. Another mediocre game. But they're in that like middling level of the league where the Broncos are gonna struggle. It's not gonna be good year for the Broncos. I don't think.
No.
No.
Nope.
Why am I dropping money? All right,
That's it.
keep going. Um,
Nope.
Bad teams. Speaking of bad teams, Vikings 28, Giants 6. The Giants are gonna be a shit show. A shit show.
Yes.
Really, really just bad. Bad news. Sam Darnold lit them up today. Sammy D.
Coming back to MetLife, making a statement.
That was his best game in MetLife, probably.
Yeah. Sammy Dimes. There he is. Not Danny Dimes.
Oh goodness gracious! I don't
No.
not much to say here. The Giants are going to be really bad, and the Vikings are not.
Aaron Jones looks good.
Aaron Jones look good. As not surprised there. You got Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Darnold look competent. We'll see what happens when they play a decent team. That's really it. And
Moving
wrap it.
on.
That's it. Wrapping it up. Cowboys 33, Browns 17. Cowboys signed Dak to the big extension right before the game, and then they knock around the Browns a bit. They look good. I just look. We said this in the preview. We don't like the Browns. We don't like Deshaun Watson. He did not look good, and the Cowboys just they did their jobs and they got it done. There's not again another game where there's not a ton to talk about, but congrats to Dak on the extension. Um, they don't have a good run game. See, they have CD and Cooks. CD, you could tell, wasn't 100% at the holdout, but
Yeah.
did lead the team in receiving. But the Browns are not. The Browns don't do anything for me. I don't think they're going to be good. They had that Cinderella story with Flacco last year. I think it's out. Watson's not doing anything there. It's done.
Yeah. No, I mean, the Cowboys, they paid a lot of money this offseason to a team that did really well in the regular season and again won their opener. It doesn't do it for me. I love that they have Zeke back. I think they made a mistake letting him go, but he didn't do a whole heck of a lot this game, I don't think. I think CD will get better season long. I would have paid way more people than Dak and found somebody to run that offense because the offense is ready to be run. And I just hope he doesn't end up losing games for them at that price point. You know what I mean? I mean, I hope he does, but the defense is going to miss Dan Quinn. But the Browns just couldn't get it done today. They missed Nick Chubb and they actually missed Joe Flacco too. So, we'll see on the Browns, but the Cowboys, they're going to be probably a 10 plus win team again. And it's going to be pretty easy for them in the regular season. And all it comes down to for them and Jerry Jones is the postseason. So
Yep.
that's what we saw today.
Correct. And the Eagles won their game in Brazil. Uh, looked fine.
Brazil.
It was a weird, I don't know, the international games kind of throw out there, but we do have the Eagles winning these
They
Cowboys.
wore green too. What the hell is that about?
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know. There were weird rules there.
Whole
We
storyline
have
they're
the
pumping.
Cowboys missing the playoffs. Look, they look fine. But the Browns are not good. I don't think it was a matchup really. So that's that,
Yeah.
man. That's week one, Sunday. We're watching Lions Rams right now, and then it's Jets Niners Monday night, and we'll see if I survive.
Come on,
So
Rich.
that's
Let's go Jets.
that's that. Thanks, bud. I appreciate that. That means a
Of
lot.
course.
All right, let's finish it off with a little bit of the good, the bad, and the shitty. Chris, start us off. Who you got? Who's your good?
My good is TJ Watt. I loved him today. I absolutely loved him. I fell in love with him. He got so pissed off after they stopped that strip sack. He went on the sideline. He was talking to himself. He was just nuts. He's a nuts guy. He timed the snap count and it got called back. And he had every reason to have a gripe with that. I felt like I had the same gripe, but he came back and he didn't like. He just doesn't stop. The guy is an incredible motor, and it's just probably from being one of the Watt brothers. You grow up that way. But he's a disruptor. And he can do it against anybody. You can't tell me that there's a tackle out there that can handle him for a full game without him getting into the backfield. He is that good and MVP worthy. He had that sack fumble, and it's kind of funny because you see this guy strip sack fumble. He's the guy that recovers it too, and it happens often. Like when he strip sacks it, he gets it. Like he's like, "Oh, well, ball, where'd it go? Okay, I'm on top of it." So
This said
TJ
snap
Watt,
right there. He was on it before anybody could
yeah,
get.
is to see I'm gonna pull it down into where I can fall on it. It's just incredible. He's got a nose for the football, and he comes from just a great pedigree. And, I love my pedigree, but
Played
the Steelers are going to be okay because of him. So TJ Watt is my good.
very nice.
Who's
I
yours?
I had it's I would give him my good too. He just looked unbelievable. He's the Steelers. He was Mike Tomlin and TJ Watt. That's how they're gonna win games. I don't think they're gonna win a
Don't forget
ton.
about Minka.
500 team again, and because of
Yeah,
him, it's crazy. Uh, my good, Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills. He
the
won them
Bill.
that game, and he will lead them to wins this year because of his sheer talent. His wide receiver talent is a little bit down this year, but Keon Coleman looked pretty good, and Shakir's decent. They had Mac Hollins catch a couple balls, but it's just
Tiny
like,
little toe boxes. That guy doesn't wear shoes.
yeah, no,
I
they
love him.
they yeah, he should give his shoes to Isaiah Likely. Maybe the Ravens would have won that game on Thursday. But yeah,
Nice.
the Bills are Josh Allen. Josh Allen is the Bills. They will go as far as he can take them. They don't have a great defense this year, like they have had. James Cook is fine. The receiving core is not unspectacular. But he is absolutely spectacular with what he could do with his legs, the throws that he can make, everything he does. I hate to, I don't hate to say. I mean, I like Josh Allen as much as I don't like the Bills and the Dolphins, etc. In the division. He's just he's so good. So props to Josh Allen. He will take them further than they probably deserve to go this year. So he's my good. Uh, I'll keep going with the bad, and I'm giving my bad to Brazil and the NFL and setting that game up with a bad field, with some weird rules, weird restrictions, weird broadcast. These international Friday night football, we don't look. Yeah, there's people that would love NFL football every night of the week. Look, stick to Thursday, Sunday, and Monday. We have lives here. Trying to live them. I can't follow every single game every single night. And look, they're gonna make their money. They're probably gonna keep doing it. But I don't like the international games with weird times, weird days. The fields are not great. It's just not NFL football to me. And you lost a young star quarterback to a bad field with Jordan Love getting hurt, and now he's out 3 to 6 weeks, whatever it is. Packers fans, Eagles fans probably left that game both pissed, even though the Eagles got the win in a home game for them. I don't like it. Make your money, whatever, but let's maybe cut back on it a little bit. Not
Yeah, I think the players are just trying to survive these games, whether it's the time difference, whether it's the field conditions, whether it's wearing green in Brazil. Who knows? They're just trying to survive some of these games and, you know, just allow the rest of the season to play out. It doesn't seem fair to them.
It's not.
I agree.
All right, keep us going. Who's your bad?
Uh, so I could have put Carolina in either bad or shitty, but I'm going to call out some players, and both are going to be quarterbacks. So my bad is going to be Justin Herbert. And I don't think it's his own fault. I think it's just the fact that he's now going to be a Harbaugh quarterback. And he had 144 yards on 26 passes, which is just gross. And nothing really went downfield. And that's not Justin Herbert. That's not using Justin Herbert the way that he was signed to be played or signed to be used. And I just don't think that Justin Herbert is ever going to be Justin Herbert again in that offense. And we'll see. But at the end of the day, for him to only throw 26 passes and not even eclipse 150 yards and throw one touchdown is kind of disappointing. But if you look at the way that Harbaugh has always used quarterbacks, there's the more successful ones are the Colin Kaepernicks of the world. The guys that just get it done with their legs or just get it done with leadership, whatever it is. And I think that's what he's going to expect Justin Herbert to be. But I was just disappointed to see how the offense went. I mean, J.K. Dobbins looks incredible. But I think we're losing out on elite arm talent with the way that he's going to be used going forward. I know he lost Keenan Allen and I think Mike Williams, right? But at the end of the day, that's just not a Justin Herbert line. That's a college football quarterback line. And, I think that's poor for the NFL. If the Chargers win, great. It's awesome. But I'd rather see Justin Herbert throwing the ball down the field. So
Yeah,
that's my bad.
yeah. Look, they got the win, but yeah, I'm not. I didn't love how they looked, and I agree with you there.
He
Do you
didn't
like?
score till like 3 minutes or 4 minutes in the fourth quarter. Like it was ridiculous. And his top receiver was Lad McConkey, and I think his average target was like 5 yards or 7 yards or something stupid like that. So no, I want to see Justin Herbert light it up. And I like that Harbaugh's back in the NFL. He's gonna, be the West Coast Harbaugh to the East Coast Harbaugh, but the offense could be a little more dynamic. And I think Herbert is probably regretting that extension
Probably.
unless they win.
No bad for him. Keep it going. Who's your shitty?
Deshaun Watson. That guy sucks. Deshaun Watson came out and was like, hey, we're going to have a great season, Browns fans. He promised it, whatever. He threw 45 passes, and they all just were garbage. And then he was just getting destroyed in the backfield. Destroyed. Like him and Micah Parsons. I would have loved to see like some image of them doing a jersey swap because they got a gross one as opposed to a clean one from Micah Parsons. But yeah, Deshaun Watson is absolute crap. And Amari Cooper and Jerry Jeudy, they're two incredible wide receivers. And who knows if he gets it going. But Deshaun Watson of last year sucked. And if Joe Flacco can get it done with this team, get him into the playoffs and look way better than what the hell we just watched over there, Deshaun Watson is done, in my opinion. So I'm rooting for him. I think guy got, well, I don't know. I'm going to reserve judgment on that. But 24 of 45, 169 yards, a touchdown, two interceptions, 3.7 yards per attempt. Like, woof. Like, I want put Baker back, and that's a Super Bowl team. Right?
Well deserved shitty. Great.
Yeah. Who's your shitty?
I'll close this out, and it's not a person, but it's just a situation, and the whole Tyreek Hill detainment today. Um, just a shitty situation. Uh, sure, we'll hear more details, but the bottom line, clearly, Tyreek Hill never deserved to be put on the ground by police. Um, Look, you could look up Tyreek Hill's past. He's had issues. That has nothing to do with what happened today. He was stopped for a minor violation. We still don't know what it was. We'll hear more. Who knows what happened? Maybe he said things, maybe he didn't, but he didn't deserve that, especially like basically right outside of the stadium. What are we doing here?
Embarrassing.
We've
Yeah.
had We had a situation similar in Georgia. It was in Georgia with Scotty Scheffler, and Scheffler has
Oh, was
no history of anything, and it was just that was literally a driving dispute. We know the details there, and the cops just acted out of range, and it's happening again. It's a shitty situation. We'll hear more, and that's that. Tyreek Hill played. He got a big touchdown, and thankfully, no more will come of it. Like Scheffler
Scotty
played.
Scheffler was in Louisville.
It was Louisville. Okay, all right. Yeah, I read a Stephen A. tweet that said Georgia, so that's what I get for thinking Stephen A. would actually know what he's talking about. So bad on me there, but yeah. And now it opens up, this whole conversation of race and everything, and it's just these
Yeah.
cops need to behave. I don't know what else to say there. Let's get it together. Bad situation. Shitty. Glad
Yeah.
Tyreek is okay and he played, and the Dolphins kept me alive and survivor. So we're good.
That's what matters, right?
That's the most important thing out of that situation. All right. Hey, man. I mean, just absolutely a beautiful, beautiful Sunday of football. And now I have my Jets Monday night. We'll see what happens there. I could be absolutely miserable and depressed next time we talk, but we'll see.
Can we
But
live stream you and your father somewhere?
I'll record some videos. It'll probably be terrible content. Just two guys from Long Island just yelling loudly. And nobody wants to see that, but maybe I'll cut some clips. We'll see. But I'm very
Well, I
nervous.
wish you guys happiness tomorrow for
Appreciate
sure.
appreciate it. It'll be a fun one. But just happy football's back. It's just, it was a beautiful day today. Had the windows open, red zone on, just following all the games. It was just nice to place bets, track your fantasy team, drink a couple beers, order some food. That's what life's all about, man. It's a good time of year. And we'll be here every week, recapping games. We'll be on SoBet basically every night. We're still making picks on baseball. Chris, you're making some college football picks. Buckeyes hit the other night.
Yeah,
We'll
I gotta stay away from Florida State though.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll stay away from DJ Ukulele. He's lost us some money. That guy, not a fan, but we're
He might
still
be a
picking.
guy.
He's bad. He's a shitty. He's a guy. We'll see. Rams Lions has not been great, but we're approaching halftime as we wrap this up, and we'll see what happens there. And then, like I said, Jets Niners Monday night. Week one's in the books, and we keep it rolling. So we'll be here every week, picking on SoBet all the time. Follow us at the Sports Clash, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere you can find us. New episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Follow Sports Clash. Join the fun.
Let's go football.
Let's go football. Love you.
Hasta la pasta.